right, we're live. It seems like it's faster to go live now.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh.
So we have to. So now we have to insert the time delay by not saying anything for a while.
Yeah.
I'm finally back at home.
When did you get back? Like midweek or?
Yeah, I got back on Wednesday. So
I know that feeling a little bit after traveling to Orlando and then Park City.
Oh yeah,
a week and a half.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's so nice to be home. And then of course I stupidly go to the organizers of React Conf and say, you guys should let me in to record podcasts. So I might wind up in Las Vegas in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm done traveling until the marathon, November 11th. So
which marathon is that?
The Las Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon. So I stupidly signed up for it. So been training.
You should start doing ultra marathons.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking that the Squeamish 50. It's this Canadian race that's like a 50-mile race in the mountains, like 11,000 feet elevation change.
There's another one in the Sierra Nevadas. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Oh my!
I just read this book by Brian Karnazes. And he talks about that being his first
ultra.
Yeah, his first ultra, and he basically destroyed himself finishing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I could complete an ultra because like 2 weeks ago I just did a 26.2 in training. So, and I felt good afterwards. I could have kept going. So, but the trails make it difficult and also the elevation, right? So, but again, when you're running an ultra, you're not running you're doing a little bit of walking, like you're doing a little bit of like, you're not just running the whole time. It's not like running on the street where you just, when I run the marathon in Vegas, I'll be running the entire time at like a 9-minute mile pace.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the one he talks about in the book is the Western States Endurance Run.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's 100 miles.
Yep. That's a good run. That's like, it takes
up mountains and down mountains. Yeah, it sounds pretty grueling.
Yeah, it takes people like 20 something hours to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's that one's long. I think I might do a 50 mile. I don't know. We'll see. After this marathon, I'll either do another marathon, do a 50 miler, or stop running. It all depends on how I feel, how it goes. So but tomorrow I'm actually prepping for tomorrow because I've got a training program which I jumped in about halfway because I felt like I could just jump in because I was already doing more mileage in the training program. So I found this training program for intermediate marathon training, jumped in about halfway, and then I hired this coach to look at my runs and look at my training and just give me any kind of advice on how I can, am I on track to hit a under 4-hour marathon? And so she's got me running tomorrow. Normally I was supposed to do a 20-mile run on Sunday, but she asked me to switch the day. So I'm running the 20-mile run tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing like the first 5 miles at like a 10 to 11 minute pace. And then she wants me to do the next 10 miles at the 9-minute mile marathon pace, which is what I need. And then like an 8:55, an 8:50, and then 8:45, and then the last few just whatever pace. So if I can hit that, then I should be pretty much ready for a 4-hour marathon. So
gotcha.
Why I need to hit a 4-hour marathon, I don't know.
Yeah, and my world they renamed Tabernacle Choir to the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, so I'm quitting church. I just can't do it anymore. I'm totally kidding. They did rename the choir though. I want to get into running or back into running. I was doing 5Ks and 10Ks a while back. But yeah. So I have a business question. If
Yeah.
Go there next.
Are we
Okay.
supposed to talk about that?
Yeah, something like that. So, my business coach yesterday,
Ah,
he's such a bastard. He always asks all the hard questions, and then I have to give answers I don't like. But anyway, so I was talking about working on the book because we completed our 12-week plans. So I have mine right here. I also have a Google Doc if anyone really wants to read it. But yeah, he went through mine. I don't know why. He's like, everybody send me your plans. Then he picked mine. Okay, great. And so yeah, so the first thing is automate and systemize all aspects of the podcast production process. And that basically means I'm going to build Podwrench this quarter.
Yeah.
The second one is to be 1 month ahead on operating expenses in the bank by the end of the quarter. So I've got to find more sponsors and everything. And the third one is to finish the damn book.
yeah.
And he looks at me and he says, okay, well, if you didn't have to spend time on the book, would that essentially translate into a more time that you could spend on the other two? Because the other two seem to be bigger payoffs for you. I thought about it for a minute and realized, yes, it would. Because it takes me a few hours a week to write 5,000 words per week. And if I was spending that on Podwrench, it would be higher leverage. Because he's like, and I'm like, yeah, probably. And he's like, okay, let's put it this way. How much have you sold on the book so far? And I'm like, $1,200 maybe. And he's like, and how much is your average sponsorship? And I'm like, $10,000 maybe. Right? Because I want to finish this book. So, but people have bought the book. I've had a few people reach out to me about the book. And so I'm trying to decide how to, like, can I offer webinars to the people that have bought the book and just say, look, I'm going to keep working on it, but I'm not going to be working on it as hard as I have been? Or
you can always return the money.
I could return the money. I feel like a jerk just telling them, hey, great, sorry, bye.
Well, what percentage of the way through the book are you?
I'm probably a little more than halfway done.
How many?
Josh has some experience with this.
Are you saying that working with authors is more pain than being an author?
How many copies have you sold then? Like around 100?
No, because I sold one course.
Oh, okay.
So I've sold 20 copies or so.
So with the course, how complete is that? Or is it not?
It's not
really complete. Not.
I have a couple videos in there.
Okay. So it's still
Well, why do you
we're basically talking 21 people or so, 20-ish people, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to wind up refunding the course because I think I think the guy wants more and he's not willing to wait. Because if he was willing to just sit it out, I'd consider just buckling down and just getting it done in a couple weeks. But it's a lot of work for $500.
Yeah.
Ask them to buy Josh's course instead.
Oh my gosh. All right. Since it's such a small number of people, I would
because if I get Podwrench done, it definitely gives me way more.
I feel like this is a distraction.
What, the book?
Yeah. And
you guys are jerks too. You're telling me to do what I don't want to do.
I think I've been consistent in saying this.
Yeah,
though,
I think we've all been saying from the beginning been slightly against the book just because it's not moving you towards your main goal.
It's a second business model.
Yeah, but I don't.
Why do you want to do
it? Because I help people. But I feel like if I can build the other stuff, then I'll have time for a second, revenue.
Okay. Here's the question. You have three things okay. I mean, not necessarily all those three things, but which of the things that you have kind of on your schedule right now that if you completed would free up the most amount of time?
Podwrench, no question.
Okay, and how long, if you focused on nothing but Podwrench, basically nothing but Podwrench, and how long would it take you to finish Podwrench?
3 to 6 months.
If you focus on nothing but it?
Yeah.
If you focus on nothing but the book, how long would it take you to finish the book?
3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to launch a book either.
How much
Well,
of
that's that's way easier than writing.
how much of Podwrench is done?
I've got a good chunk of different pieces.
What percentage of it is done?
Probably a third. I need to refactor some stuff, but I'm probably 20 to 40% the way there.
And how are you going to pay the bills while you work on Podwrench?
I'm going to sell more advertising on the podcasts.
Right.
And parts of Podwrench will make that easier too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I don't know, if you could finish the book in how long will it take you to finish writing the book if you focus nothing but writing the book?
Well, see, here's the thing is, I'm probably about halfway through, but I need to go back and revise it. I desperately need to do that. So we're probably looking at finishing the rough draft and then a couple of revisions.
It's a distraction.
But how long would you think it would take you if you just focus on that? You drop kind of everything else and.
Not having done this before, I would guess about a month, but.
So I would say
Okay.
I'm going to add some other stuff into this mix. The idea that when you're going to, when you're trying to get into the book world and launching the book and all that stuff, you're getting into a lot of traditional marketing stuff as well. Which you were trying to do, like launching your course, launching your book. It's a lot of that kind of stuff that you will have to learn as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant by a second business model.
Yeah, it's different from what you're used to doing, which is Podwrench, selling sponsorships. That's something you already have a business model for. This is something you have to learn now, and it'll take time.
I think I'm pretty much convinced that I have to give it up, at least for now.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking about the time, is because if you can write the book in, say, 2 more weeks, if you just focus on that, then, we could work out a deal and we could launch the book because we know how to launch the book. We know how to do that. Josh is like grimacing.
we meaning me.
Yeah, we is spelled JOSH.
No, I would help. I would help too, obviously, but
yeah,
but,
you would go vacation hard while Josh. we know how your partnership works.
Don would send me inspirational videos of himself at the beach.
You can do it.
With his shirt
you
on.
can do it.
No, I don't know if I could get a version that I'm happy with out by then.
Yeah. Okay. Then I
All right.
drop it.
One other possibility that you could consider would be, I don't even know if this is worth considering, but finding someone to help you write it. So what I'm doing, like what Jason and I have started doing this week. So we did our first webinar. I won't go too deep into this, but we did our first webinar on Monday. Webinar format for Jason is awesome. Like his presentation was great. We both afterwards felt that the content wasn't where it needed to be. And so what we're doing this week is we're getting on Skype. We've been getting on Skype every morning, and I'm basically interviewing him. We're walking through everything that we're going to cover in the webinar, and I'm asking him questions, and we're sort of developing the material as we go. That's like the hard part of this usually is figuring out what you want to think and then pulling in pieces of your experience to actually, make the material have more depth to it. So you could potentially find somebody like that who could help you put it together through interviews. That would be that would be less work. Probably, I mean, probably it would still require a lot of time, but
Okay.
maybe less.
So I'm gonna talk about a different idea from what we're talking about here, which is the idea of the attention space.
Mhm.
Attention space is something that Cal Newport talks about in Deep Work. And anytime
I should
you-
reread that one.
Yeah, you listen to my interview on the podcast. It's really good. Anytime you start fracturing your attention space or you start polluting your attention space, it'll take away from the important thing that you're trying to work on. So even though it might not sound like a lot of stuff that while you're trying to write the book and you're trying to do the Podwrench, what's happening is the background thinking that was going on in your head that was supposed to do Podwrench thinking is now fractured between the book,
Yeah.
the marketing, the writing, the interviewing.
Oh, that's 100% true. That's 100% true.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is so. There's a difference between the price and the cost, right? The price might be a few hours, but the cost might be way bigger than that. And you got to think about that in that realm. And also, maybe consider the book the one thing, right? What is the one thing? If you do that, everything else becomes irrelevant or useless. So I'm much more of a fan of like just trying to do going all in rather than fracturing your attention space, polluting your attention space.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that with the size of your audience, Chuck, and I mean you're seeing the contortions that I'm going through, right? And we have an audience that's like 5 times bigger than yours right now in terms of the email list. So the likelihood of this turning into a major, I mean, it's more of a passion project than a major game changer for your business, right? Like it's unlikely that this is going to add 25 to 50% of revenue to your existing business. So
unless you decide to become a full-fledged info marketer, selling courses, etc., then that's the possibility to do that.
But which doesn't make sense considering that the best way to grow is to continue to grow the podcast network.
So how big is the audience in terms of email list now?
The email list for DevChat TV?
I guess whatever your total email list size.
It's about 16,000.
16? Yep. And how many downloads are you getting per month on all your podcasts combined?
So we've had the conversation about the tracking in the past. Best guess, 40 to 50,000 downloads.
A month? No, per day.
Oh, per month?
No, total, yeah.
Probably 300,000.
Okay. So how actively are you building your email list using your podcast?
I'm not really pushing it. I should be.
Because that's the lowest hanging fruit. If you just created a lead magnet and drove like every podcast you talked about that, and you just built your email list on autopilot while you do your other thing.
That's true.
When you have the book ready, you can come back to it and try to, sell it or whatever. Because with 300,000 downloads, I think you can have a lot more emails than what you have today.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe we can when maybe later on I can talk about this too. But I just an interesting survey this week where I sent out to everyone who clicked the links in the email emails for everyone who clicked the links in the coding interview bootcamp launch emails. I sent an email to them asking them why they didn't buy, and Manny said he doesn't have a job, and he's not going to get a job, so that was helpful. Helpful to know. But Chuck, one of the things that really came out of that for me was how timing sensitive this area really is.
Yeah.
And so both in terms of when they're going to interview, like there were a lot of people who said, I'm either not a developer, which surprised me. Or I'm not ready to interview for jobs yet. That was probably, close to 10 to 15% of people said that. And then a bunch of people said, I'm going to be interviewing in the next few months, but I don't want to take this now because I'll forget everything I learned.
Yeah.
Right? And one person said that if we relaunch this, like if we run this again, one person said that they are planning to look in January, February. And I talked to Jason about it. He's like, that's when everybody posts their jobs because the new fiscal year.
Right.
And
they have their budgets. They know if they can afford to hire more people.
Jason was like, we should run it in December because that's when people, and I'm like, no, we're going to run it in January.
Yes.
because they won't take it ahead of time. Like they'll only take it when they are actually like freaking out about the interviews. So
here's one thing I could say, which I will not say. Please carry on.
Open loop. No.
So I guess what I'm asking for is, because I think where I'm winding up with a lot of this is, just, punt on the book for right now, get Podwrench done. And then if I feel like it's freed up a bunch of time for me and I want to spend my time on this, then I can.
Yeah.
So if I punt, what do I do with the people who paid? Do I just refund them all money?
Yeah. Refund it.
I mean, that's the easiest way to go, and just say, hey, keep what you got.
Easiest way to build goodwill too.
Yeah.
Yep.
How much are we talking about? $1,200 about?
Around that.
If you refund people money,
actually,
people will feel.
It's only
good about
$700 because $500 is from the course, right?
Yeah.
Here's
700.
Here's what you do actually whenever you're in that position is you offer a refund, but you also say, or we can transfer your credit to X. Whatever.
Doesn't sell anything else.
No, he does. He's got all the
videos,
conferences, online conferences.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
Give them passes to the give them an option, or depending on the price, like give them more credit than what their price is.
Michelle's actually been adding those to the website, so I have React Remote and Ruby Remote up from.
That's a great idea. Yep, great idea.
Because then you're
probably
better.
Probably half or a third of the people will take that.
Well, the other thing is I can just tell them, look, we're working on getting all the past conferences up. We're getting one up about every 2 weeks, so you can have the 2 that are on there now and any past ones that we add over the next few months. We'll just add it to your membership.
Yeah, just make it simple so that it's doesn't create a headache for you. But
and or they can have their money back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Josh, to Josh's point of running the course, why don't you make it evergreen? Why? I mean, in the sense you can do the promo, but don't make it such that you guys have to be involved with the damn thing and you have to run it live. Make it such that anyone can take it anytime and that's it.
Well, I will. I mean, if we do it, what the goal is to. So the reason we did it live was because I want feedback.
Sure.
I don't want to just can the thing and have it be done. Like I want the goal with this was to run it 3 or 4 times live.
Ooh.
Get the feedback. Well, hang on. It's not that hard. So the way it's structured right now, most of the work will be done after this time we do it. Like we would have had to do all the work we're doing right now. We would have had to do if we wanted to do it automated anyway. So we will be if we redid it live, we would probably just do the webinars and then do support in the forum. Like that would be the extent of it.
Here's says the guy who said there's so much work to be done to make this happen. I don't know if I should return the money. But anyways.
Well, yeah, the idea was to see if having something with this level of support and personal help was going to be something that people would pay more money for, or if they're just cheap and they won't pay for anything. And that seems to be the case.
No, that's not the case.
So,
but Um, uh, Another thing to consider is instead of running the content live, do the marketing live. In the sense, you can do a webinar that sells live. That I think has a much higher leverage point than just doing the content live, because selling, as we found out, like selling over $200-$300 core stuff, it's harder to sell on email compared to a webinar or something like that. So if you guys started perfecting the webinar of selling courses, of selling interviews,
Yeah.
that might actually move the dial a lot more.
Well, I think if for this product to work at all, we need to get paid traffic to work.
Paid traffic.
Yeah.
Right. Which this one makes sense.
Because there is not enough critical mass in our audience of people who want this at any given time to make it worth running.
This is that whole the ultimate sales machine, right?
Yeah.
The section where he talks about if you take an audience at any given time, there's going to be like, someone shopping for a car, like this percent that's ready to buy now, this percent that will be ready in a month, this percent that would never buy it, like, or I forget exactly how the breakdown was, but that's what this comes down.
Yeah. So what for this to work, what we need to do would be to be able to get paid traffic so that we can go out and actually find people who are at that stage where they're ready to consider it, because this is not something that somebody's just going to like go, oh, I don't think I mean, the number one of the top 3 objections was basically, I'm not looking for a job right now.
Yeah.
I got that.
And
too.
that's not something you're ever going to change.
When I was mailing my list, I had a whole bunch of people email me and basically said, "Why are you sending me this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you so that is a completely different business now you have to get into in some ways,
yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Start to running ads and like doing Facebook ads and all that stuff.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. So we have our top blog post. So this is all gonna I'm basically 100% focused on just delivering this course. And what I'm doing with Jason really right now is we are painstakingly developing this content that we are going to teach, and it's definitely way, what we have now is too much information, it's too much content, but we have to go through this process to figure out how to get it trimmed down and what actually works, see what actually works for people. So it's kind of like it's an iterative process, but we have this blog post that is getting over 1,000 page views a day on coding interviews. So what I'll do is I'm going to use that as like a wind tunnel where I'm like, okay, we've got 1,000 page views a day. Can I get 10% of those people to sign up for some kind of content upgrade? So if I can get 100 emails a day from that blog post, now I've got enough traffic flow where I can test some kind of $5 offer, impulse buy, tripwire, whatever you want to call it. And then from there we can, if we can get 5% of that 100 opt-ins to take a $5 offer, now we've got something where we can start to build on that. And if I can get that working, then I'm pretty confident that I can get paid traffic working with Facebook.
Well,
because
how about trying to do webinars when they come in, like automated webinars at some point?
Yeah, probably we would be doing webinar. Like if we're going to do Facebook traffic, we probably would be doing a webinar. But our audience, like we've done free live stream. The reason I haven't jumped on webinars to this point is that we've done free live stream type stuff to the list and nobody cares. It's not an automatic, with our list, I have not seen that it's an automatic oh yeah, this is going to work way better than email. It seems like the people on the list, majority of them are readers, and they prefer written content because they signed up from the blog. They were reading, and we've done live streams. I've had numerous sponsors try webinars and get so we send an email to 85,000 people with an ad in it for a webinar about something that seems super interesting to me, and we get 100 clicks on it.
Hold on, the email, it's an ad though, it's not the email.
Yeah, it's an ad. Yeah, but I mean, like, I've done live streams where I pitched it in an email. We've sent out when John was around, we did some live streams and we got very little uptake on it. Like the YouTube audience jumps on the live streams.
So I got really good feedback or really good response when I just sent out an email saying, hey, I'm going to answer all your business questions live. Send them to me. And we'll join. Like in 3 days, I'll see you live. Literally, the email has more response rate than typical click-through rates that I would get. And those people showed up live on channel to talk about their questions and all that stuff, compared to me just going live randomly once in a while. So when I told them, hey, I'm going to go live, I'm going to answer your questions, tell me your questions, dude, it was really good. It was really good.
What kind of what so numbers, like what was the?
I think I got 2%, no, 2.5% response rate. People actually replying back with the answer, saying maybe a couple of them saying, "I'm not an entrepreneur, please, I don't really care." But most of them were like legit, like, "Okay, yeah, this is my question. This is what I need help with." And some were like really long questions that they sent.
What was your when you did the live stream? Then how many people came?
Out of those, I would say around 10%, 20%. Yeah. 20% showed up, I would say. Yeah, 20+%, which to me was a good number. I just responded back saying, hey, I was initially going to just answer your question, but I'm in email, but I'm going to answer it live stream. Oh, yeah. So actually, this is what I did. So let me. Initially, I sent out emails saying, hey, do you have any business questions? If you have, just send them over. I'll get back to you because I want to help you. And then as soon as I send the email and I start to see the question and the volume of questions coming in, I'm like, shit, there's no way I can respond to all these questions. Then I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a live stream and you guys can join me and your answers will be there. And that was really useful.
Well, also, if you send paid traffic where you're getting people to sign up for a webinar, I mean, they're going to they're specifically signing up for that.
But if people are already showing up to that landing page, whatever that page is, with 1,000 people showing up on the interview questions, that's like better than paid traffic, in my opinion. 1,000 people just literally are coming looking for that stuff organically, and if they can,
which is
10% of them join,
right? Which is what I'm saying. Which is where I'm saying that I'm going to test it there.
Literally, if you put a link throughout the blog post saying, join my masterclass on how to crack your next coding interview or something along those lines, and you get 10% of them to join the masterclass, which is an automated webinar, boom, right there, you get them to start watching, and hopefully you get conversions out of it. But hopefully it's not, the course should be evergreen rather than like we're launching next month or next week. Then it becomes really complicated.
I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that there. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm not really planning on doing another big course like this anytime.
Josh is burnt
in the near future. Well, because I mean, it was an experiment to see, like, okay, is more of a personal touch, more direct help and handholding, is that going to be something that people are willing to spend more money on? And in this case, the answer was no.
Well, it's maybe, right? Because
the number one objection cited by 35% of people who responded was the price. And I had one guy told me that he literally said, what I do is I wait list courses on Udemy, and I wait till the price drops from $200 to $11.99, and that's when I buy. And I'm like, great, you're basing your entire career off of Udemy's, some college intern marketer at Udemy, and when he decides to put courses on sale.
I'll be back.
But the pricing, so I mean that was definitely a major factor.
Well, that's what they say was a major factor.
Yes.
The thing is, it was, it was what we talked about earlier, and that also came out in that survey, which was the idea that the offer did not line up to it was that whole Chet Holmes, ultimate sales machine type of scenario where if someone is not looking for a job right now, they are not a buyer for this thing. So that's, I mean, that's the one thing, like, that doesn't mean anything other than that, right? Like you can't really draw too many more conclusions from that. Like when you look at, if you compare that to like 10 steps to learn anything quickly, right? That is, you look at the percentage of the audience that is in the mode where they need to learn things, and it's like 100% of the audience. So I think that's what the key difference there is. So I wouldn't say that the hand holding is necessarily off the table. It's just
no. But I agree. What I have heard from a number of people though is that the middle zone between the several $100 range zone has become less and less viable, and that you can do books for $20 and you can do courses for $2,000, or you can do like high touch courses and coaching for multiple thousands of dollars, but the middle is really hard now. Is much harder because you're not charging enough that you can deliver the high touch that people really value. But you're also not, you're way above the Udemy price range. So it's like the unhappy middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't think we have the clout with the audience right now to offer a $2,000 thing.
No, unless it's something about like, I mean, the only offering would be how to like quit your job and become an entrepreneur, or something that's an actual like boot camp. But again, if we do an actual boot camp, we'll run into the same problem with our audience as we just had with this, right? It has to be something where people are looking for the boot camp, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think there's the entrepreneurship is a potential one eventually, because people will, they want to quit their job. But also, the Complete Software Developer Career Guide, that's why I'm saying like that we need to build that course, because that one certainly it appeals to our entire audience, right? Because it's content for every aspect of the developers.
Well, and you have people who are already fans of the book.
Yeah, so I think we could potentially.
What would be the price point for something like that?
$99.
No, $900. $1,000.
Oh no way! No,
I love it. No. You gotta go high, man.
Yeah, it's
no
way. A 12-month program. A 12-month program.
A 12-month program with coaching and stuff.
Not coaching, but possibly like a live call every month, but essentially like a 12-month dripped out content program.
Okay, yeah, that I could see working.
12 months if it was dripped out content. Anyone does that?
Huh?
Anyone does that? 12 months of dripped out content?
Yeah.
Well, it would be like monthly, right? Like it would be themed.
No, I'm saying like, do you see anyone selling that kind of stuff? 12 months of dripped out content.
Yeah, there's a lot of like year-long programs, but it could also be like a 3-month program where it's maybe like $600, like $200 a month. Actually would be best is like a 3-month program where at the end of it you're part of the community where it continues on from there, and you get like free membership into the membership site essentially. So you pay $200 a month for 3 months.
I've something like 12-month programs that are about $9,000, but usually there's some aspect of like
personal coaching,
group coaching, and things like that involved.
Yeah. But we want something that's more automatable.
So take the I know.
And then you have to convince people that there's the value there.
Yeah.
You know,
Take the example of Podcaster's Paradise, what Johnny Dooms is doing there, right? There's a shit ton of content in his content site, but now it's just a monthly membership. He doesn't sell anything at $1,000 lifetime access anymore. It's just $99 a month, and you get all this content, and you have the Facebook group where you can chat with other people about growing your podcast, etc., etc. And that's it.
Yeah.
For that, people pay $99 a month, and you get a monthly webinar once a month where you can ask your questions in chat, and people pay for that, right?
yeah. The $1,000 bootstrap though, that makes a lot of sense to me just to get it launched, right? It's like we're gonna do something interesting here, but people were pretty much bought into getting what they wanted from John in order to pay into that. To buy in. I mean, I bought a lifetime access, and I think that's about what I paid. You know, but then you get your diehard fans in, and then okay, I have enough market here to actually push this ahead.
Yeah.
So there's one more thing I'm gonna challenge Josh's thinking about the fact that your audience doesn't want to pay big bucks unless they're John fans, right? Unless they only care about John. So when I did the meditation course, it was $300 and then $500, right? Mm-hmm. And 50% of the audience were actually Simple Programmer buyers, in the sense they had come from the Simple Programmer buying. So they were buying $300, $500 products. And this wasn't John teaching. This was me teaching this time, right? So I'm not convinced that your audience is as cheap as you think it is. It might just be...
Did John do the testimonials for that one?
The evidence that I have for that is the fact that our course sales on Evergreen funnels have done what they've done. I mean, there's no change in the throughput, and it's a measurable decline of 70%.
Yeah,
and the only thing that's happened is time.
Well, yeah, that's definitely the Udemy effect, and it certainly has hurt it has commoditized the course industry to some degree.
I think that we could definitely do some high ticket offers. The challenge is finding, and this is where I'm just gonna have to continue to chip away at this, is finding stuff that hits a big enough piece of the audience that it's actually something that we're going to get enough critical mass on.
Do you really need a big enough audience if you sell a $500 course to 100 people?
I mean, I need there to be 100 people willing to pay $500 in the audience, is what I'm saying.
Which
there were not.
It's the 3% rule again.
For this
machine rule.
For this course, there was there were 40 people willing to pay $200 at this moment in time.
And the timing of this is a really challenging issue. It's always
going to be
Unless you make it evergreen, it's always going to be a problem.
Right.
Yeah. Yes,
I
think to some degree.
Even with Evergreen, it's still a problem because they're not going to find, you still have to market it. The only way that Evergreen is not a problem is if you can use paid traffic and go out and actively find people who are in that situation.
Well, that's what your search page is already doing for you. It's bringing you 10 new.
Well, that's true. That's not going to be enough. That's a wind tunnel to test some offers that will work, but it's not let's do the math. So we've got 1,000 a day. We might be able to get that up a little bit, but we're ranking number 1 on Google for most of the big terms now. or number 2 on Google. Mm-hmm. So we get 1,000 to 100 to if we get 5% of those to buy a Tripwire, that would be decent. 10 would be
You'll be surprised, if you already have 100 people in the list, you can get 5% to buy through a webinar.
All right, I got to push back on this stuff because you guys are talking about things as if we just put something out there at this price point, we should get about this many people to buy. And there are so many things that go into these decisions that you can control. I mean, it's not just how many people are on the list that would be willing to buy. It's what's in our offer that's going to make them want to buy. What are we putting out there that's different, that's going to get people's attention?
Yes.
It feels a little bit like we're talking like we're victims here, where it's like, you know what, the Udemy culture has made it so that it's hard to sell high-priced courses. And I think there's some truth to that, but at the same time, there's nothing you can do about that. There is zero you can do about
I'm
that,
actually
right?
not saying.
So I'm not done. Hang on. So
Chuck's on a roll.
Sit the fuck down.
but so
We're talking
I mean,
about
think
NAFTA
about
right now,
think
bitch.
about what you can do. I mean, have an online party, do something different. Just be out there and you know, I mean, you've got to upset the apple cart to some degree and look at what you can do and find some creative way to make it worth it to these people. It's not just a percentages game. It's how am I messaging this? How am I selling it? How do I make it seem cool? How do I make it seem fun? How do I make it seem like it's worth the money? How do I convince people that there's the payoff? How do I convince people that they need it? And all of those things can be done sort of the way that everybody else does it, which may or may not work. And in which case, then talking about the numbers the way you're talking about it makes sense. But why not go out there and shake the cage a little bit? You know, go out there and do something completely wacko. You know, hey, everybody, we're all going to have a shirts off party in San Diego. I don't know. But, you know, there are things under your control. And it feels like we're talking about why the numbers don't work out instead of trying to come up with ideas on how we can make something like this work or come up with something that will work better. There, I'm done.
Yeah. Bravo. Chuck just went through guerrilla marketing. But
I should read that book.
To Chuck's point, I would say that there is some truth to like trying to change up marketing and doing things differently. But numbers are numbers in marketing, in the sense there are statistics that we know very clearly. You know, in the marketing world, we know very clearly that a webinar can convert at a certain price point at a certain number percentage, right? There's no magic there. Once you have to get to that point, but you can get to the point is the answer. If you put in the hard work and if you write the right sales copy, if you do the right webinar, it will work. You have to get there. You don't have to take off your shirt in order to do that. It will. You can literally like just write good copy and like try to fine tune the webinar, and it will convert. Like there's conversion is like there is math and there is, you know, passion. Both of them are important, but it's not one or the other. It's both. You know, yeah, you can go crazy and do crazy marketing, but at the same time, math is math. You're not going to get 100% of people to sign off.
No, that's fair. All I'm saying is that if you change the offering, change the messaging, you know, it's not just numbers. There are a lot of things that go into this. And if you do something unique that people can really latch onto, you're going to sell a whole lot more of whatever you're selling.
Yeah, but Chuck, the thing is, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know what the levers are and the ranges of, like, you're right, like changing up the offer will make a huge difference within a certain range. And I know what that range is. You know what I mean? And so that's where, you know, it becomes like is this the smart place to really invest?
Every price point is almost like there's a range of what you will get. And it's just a natural, like, we know the EPC numbers for a lot of the offers. They don't vary at all. Like we're in a very tight window, right? Every time you guys send an email, my offer compared to, Josh's offer compared to someone else's. Josh, how much was your EPC on this?
I don't even know. Actually, I didn't.
$3.
I still just want Josh to, you know what all the levers are. Take all those levers, put them in a box, set them aside, and see what else you can come up with. I mean, see if there's anything else that you can think of that's going to move the needle here, because you keep telling us that what you're doing isn't working, and so what else is there?
So what Chuck is really saying is he's just tired of you, Josh.
No. I'm just wondering if there is a thing out there that will shake this loose.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to walk down a different road to get there. And I don't know what that is for you guys. But I don't want you to keep walking down the same road and then keep saying it's still not working.
But he's not. I mean, he's tried the membership thing. He's trying the interview thing. He's trying different things. I think there's work that goes into each of those. It's not that easy to start a whole new.
I think one thing that Chuck's saying is like, which I agree with, is that it doesn't matter. Actually, you could have the stupidest idea in the world, right? And actually, just like a shitty product. And there's a way, if you don't give up, to make that work, right? You can build a business on it, right? At the same time, you can have the most brilliant software idea, offering, product, and you can miserably fail. There's always a way to make something work. Whatever you want to accomplish, you can make it work. It just is how much you're willing to put into it, how much time and effort, and how much you're willing to think outside the box.
For some definition of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you can, if you have a great product in a lousy market, you will maybe be able to scrape out a living, but you're never going to, have a very profitable, successful business. Like no amount of hustle on your part will overcome a lousy market.
Yeah, but this is not a lousy market though, right? Because the same people are buying high-end products on other lists or whatever, or they're making 100K, so that's not a lousy market most of the time.
We're talking about software developers. So.
Exactly, they have. If we were talking about freaking dude, okay, so this girl, Irina, she sells microblading. Talk about a lousy market in the sense those girls have no money. They have no money.
What is microblading?
That's a great market. I was going to do microblading.
No, teaching girls how to do microblading.
Yeah.
What is microblading?
They are broke. Those girls are mostly broke. There's some makeup shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But those girls are broke.
I was going to say, I'm not hip either, John.
It's eyebrows. If they do your eyebrows. Like,
yeah. So John knows all about this stuff. But,
his eyebrows look great.
Exactly. John, looking good. These girls who have no money, they're literally out of college. They'll scrape together the $3,000 for this microblading course to go and sign up for her course, and she's running them all over the U.S. now. And she's
what is she teaching in the course? I think I have a guess.
How to do microblading so you can make money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. But the key is it's bizarre. But the key here is the market is not lousy. What is not good is the perfect offer for that market. I think your assumption that the market is lousy is flawed, but your understanding of
I'm actually not. I'm not saying that the market is lousy necessarily.
That's the thing I would challenge. Everything else you say I'm in agreement with, but that part is where I'm in disagreement. I think the market is prime. The market can be sold. You just have to find the right thing to sell to them, or you just have to identify what it is that they're like. If it's a biz op or whatever it is.
Yeah, if the market's moved, figure out what they've moved to.
The market hasn't.
What do you think I'm trying to do?
Everyone is selling $2,000.
It's just that you say it's easy for you to say try something different or test it, but it takes 2 or 3 months to do that, and then that's the thing, and then and then you're wrong, and then. Another 2 to 3 months with the blog posts that we have, like at least with that, I can start at the front end and invest as far back as I see return. So like if, even if I can just take that page and turn it into 100 email opt-ins a day, that would be a huge win. Right. Yeah. So that's valuable. And then if I can get them to buy a $5 thing, then I know, okay, so it is possible that people searching for that keyword are not buyers and never will be buyers. So that's why I'd rather.
I would say 95% of them are not.
Test a $5. I'd rather test a $5. That's why I want to test a $5 offer there before I go and build a huge, massive, automated funnel to sell something bigger. Because I can test the $5 thing pretty easily. And if I can get 5 or 10% of them to buy a $5 offer, then I know they're buyers, and then I can, upgrade the funnel.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I
mean, that's just
good. Because like creating a webinar, like I think webinars are great and they can be really powerful. However, I worked with someone who when I was freelancing, I worked with guys that had a great audience, great niche. They had a great Facebook team, and it took them months of testing the webinar, and they were running it every week. And you have to test it, and you have to tweak it, and you have to test it, and it's not the format. You have to develop the pitch. You need enough people coming through to where you can see. So, and for that you probably need paid traffic.
But did they test Chuck's idea of taking their shirts off?
I don't think they did.
Damn it.
They were in the fitness niche. They were runners though, so nobody really wants to see a runner with their shirt off.
Oh yeah, they're not cool. Hey, by the way, what was your EPC you were saying?
Oh, $4.25.
That's good. That offer is good. Damn. That offer is great. But it's actually really good. Like that's a fine offer. It's just that it had a smaller segment of the audience that it appealed to, which is fine. So damn, you could pitch that offer again. That's fine. In fact, if you just change the messaging a little bit, now that you know, if you adjust it, if you overcome the number one objection, which is I ain't ready for this right now, and you say, look, even if you're not looking for a job right now, these are skills that are going to take time to develop and practice. Yeah. If you anticipate looking for a job in the next year, you need to start now. And you're going to go through this course, and then you're going to work on these skills. Plus, these skills will help you to get a promotion. It's not just if you're looking for another job. If you're looking for promotion, if you're looking to just improve your communication skills in general, right? Whatever. Like, I don't know. There's probably a lot of ways to spin this to be able to overcome that objection and say this is something that you need right now.
The other way to I would still say that having an evergreen version of it would be much better than having to because then the objection is already addressed. It's settled. Don't have to worry about it.
For this one, I think in general, I think if it was I think having a live version of it like this would probably potentially be better if it was not something that was so time sensitive.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, if we did a live version of 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly, potentially that could be something that people would be willing to pay a lot more for versus this, where I think the biggest problem was how time sensitive it is.
Right, because they have to attend live, and
I think you have to remove all those obligations. Like you don't have to attend live; it's always available. Now you sign up, then you actually can attract a lot more audience.
Well, you'll have it recorded now.
Yeah,
I wonder though, like
the thing is, I'm people like going through it with other people. They like getting the hand holding and help. Yes, they do. yes. If you go the canned static content route, that's where you're no different than Udemy.
No, you're no different than Interview Cake.
People like, so people like the handheld community involvement route when they're actually trying to do something at that, but they don't like it in advance. I think that's kind of exactly what came out of there was, right? It's like, okay, if I'm trying to start a business, I want other people that are trying to start a business with me in the room. Let's talk about our problems. Let's go step by step. Let's take this slow. I want other people that are facing this struggle. But if I'm trying to develop a skill that I'm going to use at some point in the future,
I'm a unique snowflake. This is huge. Okay. Yeah. I'm a unique snowflake. My problems are different than everybody else's.
Right.
And I need individual help. Okay. That is huge. That's where that everybody believes that. Everybody.
Here's my next offer to you.
I don't want to be a snowflake.
Offer an evergreen product, but offer an upsell that offers individual coaching with whatever his name is, or a group coaching with whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And you guys take a cut on it, right? So offer the evergreen and offer the upsell, and now you can run the evergreen offer all the time and give them the upsell to go for the higher priced product. And
I think exactly. I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking I want to get a a product that is like, I want to have a version of this that is less than $100. That's basically just content.
Yeah.
And then have one thing I'm thinking. So with the interview questions post, what I'm thinking is Jason has this really good formula that he developed that he calls the DICE formula for how to answer a technical question. So I think I'm going to try to make, like, he can do like a 10-minute video on this, and we can sell that for $5, and it will be like extremely valuable for people.
Okay.
And then from there, I can have a, what I was going to try actually was probably going straight to a $100 or $200 package of like a $200 or $300 package of mock interviews. So you're searching for interview questions, you get the interview, you get the questions, you get a then you buy a formula for how to answer technical questions. Now you can upgrade to get like 2 or 3 mock interviews with Jason. And the thing is, like, that's going to be probably only 10% of those will actually get used.
I mean, whatever it is that the audience wants, whether they want market review or what it is they want from the course, that's what you sell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can send out another email saying, why did you buy? And you'd get a lot of good answers on that as well.
Yeah.
Why it is that you bought, and then you can amplify that message and leave everything aside.
Here's an interesting question about that too. Like, honestly, if we had, if the course was not live, right? If it were just sold as a packaged course, do you think that the sales would be higher than what they were?
I think that the sales would have been slightly higher.
Right.
But not significantly.
Not significantly, but slightly higher, because still, because again, looking at that whole, the Chet Holmes, the ultimate sales machine, right? That whole, like, these are the buyers. So out of that whole room, out of our whole room, right, we had a very small chunk of people that are looking for a job, that need this, that need to buy it. And then we slice that even smaller by saying it's live. So you have to be here, you have to attend it. So these are people that are like immediate, right? So
I mean, I did every time I talked about it being live, I also talked about it being you're going to have access to everything. Everything's going to be recorded.
That doesn't work though, because every time you tell them it is live and then you sell, hey, you can get access, it does not work, because now they're latching on to the idea that I'm paying $200 for live.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if I'm going to get access to the course recordings. I'm not going to use $200 worth of value that I'm going to get from this. So as a user, I'm not buying it, because in that moment, it's not worth $200. If you had said, hey, $200 for the live version, $100 for the recorded version, now it's a different thing. Now those people would have bought. In fact, you can go out to those people again, the ones who said we don't need it right now, or just send an email saying, hey, by the way, I know you don't want live. Here is the offer just for recorded. And you will probably pick up some sales from that, because it's a cheaper price.
Yeah, I know I would definitely pick up a few sales from that. John, actually, I'm going to revise what I said. I'm actually not convinced that I would have picked up a whole lot of sales. I think I would have gotten a slightly different slice of people, though.
I think it would have been a larger slice, though, because it's a higher percentage of people that would be able to, that could see this as more of training as opposed to like immediate need, because like I said, this is a very time sensitive thing, and if you are preparing for a job interview, you need this, right? But if you're like, someday I'll prepare for a job interview, you might buy it and download it, and then and then watch it later. So I think that's the difference there. But it's fine. I mean, it's again, it shows that this is a valuable offer for the people that were interested. The EPC says that. I think the EPC would be higher if it's a downloadable version, and I think what Manny said is right, that the EPC would be the highest if it were a downloadable version with content, with upgrades, bumps to actual handheld live or coaching or mentoring or something like that. That would probably be the.
You can have 3 levels here: the evergreen version, which is like the cheapest, maybe $100. Then the live version that he would run with a group, and then even higher is one-on-one coaching and you guys would take
Yeah.
a cut of everything the same way you do. But
Right.
now we're talking $100, $300, $1,000, or $2,000. And there are
Yeah.
people who literally have that pain point who will pay more than $2,000 for an interview right now.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that and those pricing breakdowns are probably about right too. Actually, I mean, maybe even 500 for the live version.
Yeah, but then you have to sell the coaching at $2,000,
Yeah.
right? Just to show the distinction in the value
Right,
proposition.
right.
And the live version gets a group, a Facebook group, blah 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 blah. While the content is just content. There's nothing more.
Right.
Yeah.
So and for that to work, that's where I'm thinking that we need Facebook basically, because if I did that with this launch exactly the way we described it, we would have made $12,000 instead of $8,000.
What I would think is you could actually literally use the current traffic source from the 1,000 emails you're getting per day and literally just test out everything on that traffic source, leave everything aside.
Yeah.
All the people who are marked who are tagged in your database coming in today as interested in job interview, you can put them through a campaign, especially for exactly this campaign with 3 different levels and start to test it. And over time, you'll get the results rather than having to run Facebook traffic. Because, dude, running Facebook traffic is another fucking beast of a work.
I've done a lot of it. I've done a lot of it. So
no, that makes sense. So testing that like treating this, I mean, we were talking about this before, is treating this as a separate funnel. That page on the website, we should just be putting an offer, getting an opt-in, and then testing sales on that to see. Because if we can get that converting and get the messaging right, which we can, I'm sure that we can, then that will. And these are new people, so there's no harm here. It's not like we're going to keep on testing the same shit different shit on the same list, so people are going to get frustrated by it. These are always, we have plenty of new blood here, so that makes a lot of sense.
It's the first thing we have that has enough volume on a single focused point to actually do that.
So you could literally have now that you know that thing is working, whatever interview related keywords there are, you can tag and hopefully build traffic around that.
Yeah.
And use Jason as your scapegoat to do all the hard work for writing copy, writing marketing, writing content.
Oh no, Jason's the content guy. I'm the one doing all the marketing.
That's what you think. You can give him the books and say, start learning this shit, because you're going to use it if you want to be 50-50 partners in this. You know,
the other thing is
if you're providing all the marketing, you're actually providing more like 80% of the value in this case, in my opinion, because it takes a lot of fucking work to get that right. Especially when if the offer was proven, 50-50 makes sense. If the offer is unproven, you guys are providing way more value than he is. Now Jason's gonna hate me if he listens to this.
Yeah, well, we're not doing 50-50 on this, so
yeah, even 60-30, like if he learns to do marketing, and if he can write marketing, and if he can do marketing, then he's offering much more value. He's bringing a proven offer. He's not bringing a proven offer right now. So you guys are doing a shit ton more work than you think. And you're bringing your own traffic. You're burning your own trust with the list. So there's a lot that's going on.
Well, and just to throw it out there as far as, the amount of work and the percentage you're giving. Up at Framework Summit, I talked to a bunch of people who are working with Egghead or Pluralsight. A friend of mine just bought, I think it was Thinkster. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember for sure. But he's taking that over, and nobody's paying more than 25%.
Yeah, no, I know. We've tried offering lower amounts in the past and had had people walk away. So that's because we don't like when you need to get a few of these working to prove to people that it's going to work, and they can see. You need a John Sonmez where it's like, oh yeah, John made, he's retired now because he made a bunch of Pluralsight courses.
He's retired now because Josh works.
No, I am not funding John's lifestyle by any means.
Here's another way to think about it.
Go to someone you can whip like John whips Josh. Yeah, got it.
Think Dan Flagella model.
Yeah, flagella. Yeah, that means whip.
John Pachela did straight up like, I'll pay you for your hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah, I like that better, but some people will recognize that the upside, if it takes off, is much better on a percentage model.
Most people won't
Yeah.
recognize
most
that.
people just want
You
to
think most
get
people
paid,
won't
man.
get that?
Oh, believe me, most
Yeah.
people don't even.
because
Well, okay,
because you're also
so-
taking the downside. You also have to realize
Yeah.
Right.
if it doesn't work, you're still getting paid.
Hell, shit.
Some people want
I
that.
took the same deal with Pluralsight. Pluralsight originally offered me for my courses either 25% royalties and $500 when I did the course, or $5,000 payment and 20% royalties. And every single course I chose 20% royalties and $5,000 payment. Yeah, I could have had another $1 million or so, but but the reason why, right? And I analyzed this and I did some calculations on spreadsheets and stuff, and Pluralsight was small at the time, and I anticipated that, based on this, like, the odds were that the $5,000 payment was going to be worth more, right? That was
Right.
the odds at that time of the company. It required them to grow quite a bit in order for that to happen, and so that immediate cash was worth it more. It also allowed me to quit my job. So there's a lot of reasons, and I wasn't even hurting. So I mean, what I'm saying is that, like, if I made that decision, there's definitely other people would make much worse decisions than that, and it's not a bad decision. It's hedging
Based on the
your
information you had.
right, because it's because you're not sharing the downside, right? Like, it's if you can get paid to do something and you get paid well to do it, that's you're going to get the money. Whereas if you're paid a percentage, you don't know what the potential downside is for it. So
fair enough.
Anyway, people will make bad deals all the time anyway, regardless of.
Yeah, but people will. Here's the key to the bad deal. People will make bad deals which are favoring them in the short term. People don't think second, third, fourth order consequence.
That's why you take the money up front.
Immediate consequences. So anytime you can create a deal where the immediate consequence or payout is higher for someone else, while long term you win, you always should offer that deal.
Well, and also consider the fact that, like, again, us here, we have sort of a warped value of money. Actually, everyone else in the world has a warped value of money. We're actually logical, but $5,000 to most. It's true though, because $5,000 to most people is like a ridiculous amount of windfall to get at one time, right? Like, we don't think of that. If you give me $5,000, okay. If you give me $5,000, I don't think anyone here is going to be like super excited about $5,000. But for a lot of people, even people making good money, even software developers making $100K a year, like $5,000 for them to get $5,000 to do something is huge. It's huge. It changes everything, right? It's like
for a couple weeks.
Here's where, in our specific
That's how they
situation,
think of it, though.
in our specific situation, that doesn't hold water. Is because everyone that I've talked to is looking for recurring revenue thanks to what we've taught them at Simple Programmer. No, I'm completely serious. Completely serious.
There's more of that for sure. For sure.
So I've talked to probably 7 to 10 people now about doing something like this for us, and they're all like, well, and they're all like, well, I wrote a book for Pact, and they gave me 10%, they give me 15% and a big upfront, a $3,000 upfront royalty, and like, I want something better than that.
Well, yeah. Well, the question to that is, how's that shit doing for you now? How you like Pact? They selling a lot of your copies of
all your
book?
money.
And
them and those 100 other books they published this month. How are you competing in that space? Because that's the thing, is it's like, and then the other thing I would say to that is look, like, you're unproven. Who the fuck are you? Like, you're some random dude. Do you even have a fucking website? Like, let's build your course. I'll pay you $5,000. You build the course. We'll sell it. If it sells well, then we'll talk about a commission. But right now, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, that's
you can always structure the royalty. Yeah, you can get ongoing payment. It's 1% per sale. But I mean, I'm just kidding. But there's ongoing payment which can always be figured out. You can get $5,000 plus 10% ongoing payment, or $1,000 plus 20, or $100 plus 20% ongoing payment. What do you want? a lot of people will probably take the $5,000 because suddenly now they see that, hey man, I can literally, like, this is real money. I don't know the money in the future. I have no idea if it will come or not. The money in the present is real. People always, it's the book Predictably Irrational. No matter how rational the idea of like recurring income is in our minds, when that $5,000 check is right there in front of us compared to a $100 check, we make our mind come up with crazy reasons why that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's true. It's the same thing as like when I was taking the train up to LA and they're like, here's a box of snacks. And I was like, it's a free box of snacks. Well, fuck, I can't just drop this in the trash can. I got to eat this free box of snacks. It's a free box of snacks. It was like a $10 box of snacks, right? It's like, because it's immediate, because it's right there, because it's a value, the perceived value. I can't just lose out on this free thing, this value. So when the value is immediate, for sure, it has a much higher effect on it.
Yeah, it's the marshmallow effect.
But the problem is not really like, again, I mean, we're kind of going off on a trail that it doesn't matter what commission we're paying people to produce courses if we're not selling courses. That's the thing. It's like if we're making a lot of money selling the course, then that commission, and then in that case, the problem solves itself, because if we know we're going to sell a course for like, we're going to launch something for $200,000, we can say, hey, yeah, 10% is plenty for this, or whatever, 5% even. Like you've got that leverage but when you're sharing the risk more, so that it's
at this point, I'm not paying upfront for anything. I'm not going to pay anything upfront, because the risk is that you do all the work and make nothing. There's a pretty strong likelihood of that at this point.
Well,
if we paid $5,000 for this course up front, that between that and like paying Rodrigo and Sheena to help me out with the content, like there's no profit left, or very little.
And no, it is, because from
you own it.
It's done once, but after that you keep selling it, so you make a shit ton of money over time.
You're wrong about the risk, though, Josh. The risk is not that you won't make enough money. The risk is that if you pay for a course up front, is that the person will actually copy the course from Udemy, record it in their own voice, and
not that this has ever happened
that's
before.
The risk.
Yeah, that's a different kind of risk.
That's the black swan there.
Shit. Tricky motherfucker.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like I said, you got good information. I think the EPC is fine on that. It's actually high. So I think overcoming that objection of the timing, that's the number one objection to really overcome. In that's even I mean, price. I don't know, price is always an objection. I don't even count that. When people say price, it's bullshit.
People just say that. That's
people always say price. Price is
bullshit. Well, it is, except that again, what we've seen over the last 2 years is that the price of our $100 course now has to be half of what it was in order to make the same number of sales. Well, that's when. So that's, if we're talking about making this an evergreen course, that's the sandbox we're playing in.
It's yes and no. I mean, yes, if you compete as a commodity, yes, but more to the line of what Chuck is saying, if you take yourself out of the commodity space, then it's different, right? I mean, it's like, look at phones, right? Our phone prices are supposed to go up or down, because fucking iPhone now is $1,200. This is ridiculousness, right? Like,
it's also people like you still buying it,
right? But why? Why do people buy the iPhone? Because the price doesn't actually fucking matter. They can charge $2,000 for the iPhone. People will still buy the iPhone. It's because they want it. It's because they've been sold on it. And so, yeah, I mean, people will object to price all the time. And if you go into the commodity market, of course, the price will make a difference. But
my whole point in this is that video courses are a commodity market.
Not necessarily. No. If you group yourself into video course, but you're not selling a video course. If you sell a video
solution
course,
to a problem.
If you sell a video course, yes, right?
Yeah.
But we're not selling a video course. We're selling the outcome of what they can get, and they can only get it here. It's exclusive. It's not. We can't. We're not going to put ourselves in the same places as other courses that are quote video courses. So I think that's the difference here.
Well
You're
then
not
why
selling
can't you?
drills, you're selling home walls.
I think, Josh, that is something you really got to believe, that
Okay.
prices are going down, because everyone is selling at ridiculous prices, like Murray Forleo and Jeff Walker, or even Grant Cardone. Like, he just came up with his real estate course that John's going to buy. You're buying the multifamily course?
I'm looking at it. I've got it on my board. It's like $900 for the audio and video. It's $600 for the video and like $300 for audio only. So
Who cares about the video?
Yeah, I might just grab audio only for like $300. So
can we all pitch in for the course?
Hey, this is live. You can't like.
No, we're just pitching in. We're pitching in for your contribution. We're making it easy for you to buy.
No, Manny, wink, wink. We can't. Wink, wink.
Okay, so
I've got to jump off, guys.
People are
Okay.
People are selling higher and higher price point product courses, not lower and lower. Anywhere you look, everyone's selling pretty expensive products. Whichever field you pick.
Price is never the issue. Price can be. I'm just saying, like, the other objections can be overcome for sure.
The Udemy thing has been around for a while. Hasn't changed the price points of most of the guys who are selling.
Okay, well then how do you? Okay, so then explain to me how an automated funnel with more traffic going through it, selling exactly the same thing, everything the same, produces a third as much as it did a year and a half ago.
Well, that's just because they associated with the John, and John is left. So that's the.
It was happening well before John left. It was happening 8 months before John left.
No, it's definitely the Udemy effect. There's no question about it that the courses can be the average value of an online course is perceived value is lower for sure. And that still doesn't mean that you can't sell a course. It doesn't mean that you can't,
it means that formats have certain expectations around them. And once you put something into a specific format, you are setting a price range on it. So a book, for example, why was it that video courses, so it used to be in like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you could sell a book through the mail for $100, $200, $300. No one can sell a book for $300 now. So then it went to video courses. So you would take your book that you could only sell for 20 or 30 bucks, and you would sell it as a video course. And then you could get the price back up to $200 or $300. Well, the same thing has happened with video courses. They've become commoditized just like books did. And so now that's where I'm trying with
it's mastermind groups.
Well, exactly. No, it is. It's the hand. Yeah, that's where it's getting more like people are drowning in video courses. The number one objection that I got besides price was I'm already taking another course and I don't have time to do this. All right. So people are completely overwhelmed. So they either want something small and quick that they can buy now that's cheap, or they want like complete personalized attention.
There's a lot of middle grounds there.
There are. If the value is right. Again, yes, I agree with everything that you've said, Josh, about the commoditization of the video courses and how they play out in the price ranges. But it's all about the value offer, the proposition. Because if I can offer you something that costs $10,000, but you're going to make or save $50,000, it's an easy sale, right? It doesn't matter if it's a book, it doesn't matter if it's a video, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not going to sell it based on the format. I'm going to say this program or this opportunity, right? So
yeah, I mean, I completely agree.
And that's ultimately what it's going to come down to is even if the markets are, whatever, it doesn't matter. It only matters about, having that, it affects sales for sure. It affects sales, but it still doesn't mean that you can't successfully sell, in whatever price range that you want to, as long as that value proposition is there.
Yep. Yeah, it's always the result. You're selling the result, not the medium. And if you can sell the results because of the medium, you get a higher price point. If you sell the result as a result of the transformation that's involved in the medium, transformation being through other people or through the coach or whatever, that's going to give you the money too.
But
there are video
I mean,
courses that are being sold for hundreds of dollars.
What you're describing is exactly what I've always done.
right. It's just
I always sell the results and
exactly.
always sell the outcome. And like, you're not saying anything that is not ingrained in my very DNA.
Right. And,
so what I'm telling you is that what I've observed is that there are limits and market realities, and that's what I'm trying to get past.
And based on this, the EPC was fine on the offer. The offer converted to the people that were interested. All I'm saying is 10 steps to learn anything quickly appealed to 90% of our audience, right? Yep. This course appealed to just the people that were looking for a job interview at the time, maybe 5% or less of the audience, even though it converted well. So it's still a solid offer. It's just a segmentation issue.
Yeah, I agree.
It's an offer that can be presented. And if we, there's two ways to look at it. I mean, well, I guess three ways. One, to segment the audience, but it's a moving segment. So you don't know who's looking for a job at that time. So you have to have some way to figure out who's looking for a job at a time and then pitch them. Maybe, and there's ways to do that. By sending out little test emails or something like that, and seeing, having things that people click, and if they're so we could segment like that and then send them the offer afterwards. Or we can have direct traffic that's coming in that is interested in that segment. We know they're pre-segmented when they come in, which we encompass also throwing out ads that were specifically trolling for those people. Or the third option is just to say, look, we know that only a small percentage of the list is going to take this. We can increase that pie slightly by getting rid of the time factor, overcoming the number one objection of saying that, hey, look, you want this regardless of the time, and not making it a live course. That might make that pie a little bit bigger. And then we know that offer converts, and maybe we get the EPC up there to like the $4.50 to $5 range. And we're not going to sell like a huge amount of money off of it because we know there's a smaller segment of the list, but it's still a profitable offer to send out to the list.
So here's my other question. How much banner advertising are you putting on your website right now?
We've tried banner advertising and it does not work.
So you have zero banner ads right now. You don't have
our stuff.
Any ads on simpleprogram.com?
We have for our own products.
No. In general,
we have. Yeah, we get about $900 a month off of banner.
Right. But how much banner ads how many clicks are you driving for them?
I have no idea. We don't get that data because it's not.
What I'm asking, the next question
it's pay per impression.
And the next question then in my mind is, why are you driving banner ads somewhere else instead of driving banner ads to your own product?
Because I have tested driving it to our own products and it does not work at all.
What do you mean?
Like literally,
just like what you're trying to figure out with like job interviews right now. If you just ask, are you trying to get a job right now? $900 is how much? If you were to send that traffic, if you were to buy that traffic on Facebook today, $900 will give you maybe 200 leads. So you're telling me putting all the banners on Simple Programmer Real Estate will not get you 200 more leads?
I'm saying that I have tested advertising. Well, so we have embedded opt-ins throughout the site. We have pop-ups. I'm going to put a specific pop-up on these interview-related things. Those collect a lot of leads. The pop-ups collect probably 90% of the leads. I have tested putting specific. We tested Bluehost. We put a Bluehost banner all over the entire site. We've tested Pluralsight. Hang on. I've also tested our own products. I'm just telling you what we've. So we've tested. I've tested Pluralsight, and we drove hundreds and hundreds of clicks and no conversions. I've tested Bluehost, same deal. Like we quadrupled our traffic that we were sending them, but we got no conversions out of it. And then I've tested our own products in those spots and got no conversions. So that's why for like the $900, it's pay per impression. So it doesn't require them to actually do anything. And so that's the only reason we're making $900. If it was pay per click, I think we'd probably be making a couple $100 a month.
So my question was, could you instead drive them to your own opt-ins, not to the product?
Well, we're already doing that. We're already collecting. I mean, I could just swap out the opt-in that we have now for a different opt-in.
I get it.
So I've got a sidebar.
For the money that you would spend on advertising, you might as well just advertise it on your website, because there are programmers coming on your website which are hopefully looking for jobs, and you can say, "Are you looking for a job?" And then you segment them.
So here's my take on it is that we are already doing a very good job of harvesting all of the people who are going to take any kind of action, and the $900 that we're getting is passive people who are just passively viewing the page and never going to do anything.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like we've already got we've got a number of calls to action on the page already. And I've not seen that. I've tried multiple things where I thought I could, the reason that I'm so adamant about some of this stuff is because I believed and tested everything that we're talking about. Like I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. Like I'm going to send people to, I'm going to send people, I've tested remarketing. Like I've tested the heck out of remarketing where I'm like, people are viewing the sales page. They're viewing the add to cart page. Oh, easy money. And it, for whatever reason, so the stuff that I'm adamant about is like, I'm adamant about it because it's not theoretical.
Yeah. We definitely have tested and had the discussion about the banners, but it doesn't mean that there's not a way to make any of this stuff work. It just means
it just means that it's not low hanging fruit. It's it might be doable. It's like how far. It's farther down the chain of things to try again.
I mean, John's videos right now are running Dev Mountain Career or something ad. Couldn't they run an ad instead to your
the Dev Mountain?
Yeah.
We have that. We've got hundreds of videos with mentions of our products in them.
Yeah.
Or certainly dozens and dozens. So, and those are better. That's going to be better than any ad you run. It's like an organic mention. Here's kind of what I'm thinking right now is
other than committing suicide.
No, I'm not committing suicide. So what I'm thinking is that it doesn't make a lot of sense to invest in doing these big courses for the time being. Possibly the career guide one. That one I might be willing to try. What I think makes more sense is doing some smaller offers that are like in the $20 to $50 range. I mean, like I feel like we can expect to maybe be able to make like $5,000 to $10,000 off of a promotion at this point. It just seems like everything we do ends up right in that. So so I'm thinking is maybe I can just do 2 promotions a month. One of them is going to be our membership thing. One of them will be for some kind of topical video that we do where it's just going to basically be like a 1-hour webinar that I'm going to record. It won't be a live webinar because I don't think I can sell that effectively. But like I could, so with Jason does a lot of, one of the things he does a lot of coaching with his students is confidence. So I could do a 1 hour to 90-minute interview with Jason, and I think I could sell that for $30 and do pretty well. It would probably end up in that 5,000 to 10,000 range, and then content goes in the membership site, and do that. I'd be building up the content in the membership site. I'd be making, you know, we'd have some nice little spurts of income from those little one-time offers to the list.
You can literally sell everything on the back of the membership.
What do you mean? Like, yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm
things that you're trying to sell, you just sell them as a membership promotion, saying, when you buy today, you will also get this course included, and this is the deadline.
Which is what I did for this.
Well, no, you did not make it explicit. You almost forced it down their throats. I didn't like that. I'm not a fan of that kind of selling. I'd much rather like you make it upfront that when you buy this course today, or when you buy membership today, you will get this course for free. Otherwise, you can buy this course for $99.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm proposing here.
Yeah. So you can always sell membership, no matter what you're offering. Whatever you're selling, you're actually saying you can buy this one-off for $99, or you can get $99 and get all the other things that we have in the membership area. So membership.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think I can sell what I'm describing for $99. I can sell that for $29 or $19.
No, but that's what you're saying. You can sell it because you're selling membership, not the course.
Right. You can sell the course for $29, say, and then say, but if you want, you know, for $69 more, you can get it for free and join the membership and get it as part of the, right. That's a pretty common promotion.
But the other thing could be you sell it for $99, even though you don't think so, and maybe nobody will buy. That doesn't matter. You still ascribe a value of $99 to it, and then let people make a decision. That's just in the copy. It's not in the content. It's not like because it's 2 hours, it's not worth $99. That's never the case.
Yeah, but you can't make the price the same as the membership price.
Why not?
It doesn't make any sense, because then people will just buy the membership that have no intention of using the membership. Because why not? Like, you're going to get the membership plus the course, or you just get the course. You might as well get the membership plus the course. And then you want them to actually like have made some kind of effort, right? Even if it costs them $10 more, you want them to spend more to get the membership. Otherwise, it just is ridiculous.
Yeah, because we'll get like with the $29 pricing, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are not willing to go to $99, and we'd be able to get some revenue from that, get some people into the membership. That seems like, and I might, if I did one of those a month, I might stumble into something where it's like, holy cow, we just did $30,000 on this one. Like, let's do a bigger course about it.
Because $29 is a pretty sweet price point, as we have found out in our testing, right?
Yeah.
Like we can't sell at 69, we can't sell at 49, but 29, better than 19, better than 9, better than 39. 29 is the perfect price point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And that's sort of like it's a good, like, it's not going to really like change the game, but it would be a nice, comfortable schedule that I could it's like kind of you're jogging at that pace, right? And we'd probably end up with higher product revenue if I did that than what we've been seeing.
And those things are going into the membership.
Yeah, those are going into the membership.
Right. And if you're doing one of those a month, yeah, that's something too. Like, you can pull me in for some of those webinars too and have me do.
Right. Yeah. And I'm actually like, after this, I'm actually thinking that I'm actually flipping. Like, I was thinking that going with the, more career focused route would be broader. It would be easier, but I'm actually thinking that the other way around, that, doing things like confidence, like the stuff we've been doing with Manny and stuff has been, I think that's going to hit the broadest segment of the audience that we have right now. And there's just the reason that I've been going, trying to, go in the career direction is because the whole sell results, not procedures, Manny. Like, so like, what is the result what is a hard result that I can deliver, right?
Yeah.
If we can like get people in who are scared of getting interviews, and we can kick ass and we can get them jobs at Google, you know what I mean? Or whatever, like Dropbox or whatever, like that's a result that I can really sell versus like confidence. I mean, it's like, it's so squishy. Like, how do you even promise? And like people, it's hard to write believable copy about that. I mean, you can, if we can get enough people and get some good testimonials, that would help. But it's really hard to make like believable promises around that. So that's kind of why I've been trying to go this direction, because, you know, I want to be able to like produce measurable results for people. And the problem just with the way our audience is structured now is just, there's not big enough pieces to latch onto. So I'm thinking that going back in the more in the self-improvement, kind of like productivity, confidence, imposter syndrome, like hitting some of those topics, like that's probably the best thing.
Hey, let me know if you want to run the mental toughness again.
Well, I would be interested in, I don't really want to run that one again, but I would be interested in another
social skills.
Yeah, social skills
would be
a big one.
Yeah.
Not soft skills, but social skills, I think specifically, or like social anxiety or something like that. That's more of a
social skills, communication skills, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, negotiations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Negotiation, not as much, actually.
Well, that's part of the thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you already have stuff around that, we can include it.
It's all incorporated.
I don't think that one's actually big enough to. That's another one where it's like the interviewing. It's kind of a small slice, but
it's all part of it.
It's funny too, because Josh, I think it's ironic. I was just looking at the news that 3.7% unemployment, the lowest number since 1969.
Yeah, I know.
And we're launching a how to get a job, essentially.
Oh, and it's not even not even that. It's the unemployment rate in tech is like less than, it's like 1.5% or something. It's insanely low. So I think that is definitely a factor.
We're selling ice to Eskimos right now is the problem. So that's the thing. So it's not an indication. But that's why, like, it's like, you know, when times are good, what do these people want? Now they want to enhance their lives. Okay, they're making good money. They have the money. Let's take the money, but let's show them how to get more confidence, how to get in shape, how to, you know, whatever it is that they want. And that's always been the unique offering for Simple Programmer anyway, is that we don't just, you know, there's plenty of sites that teach you how to pass a job interview or to do coding interview questions and to enhance your career essentially. But there's not too many sites that are there. There's no one else that's really catering towards the other aspects of the software developer's life. So
right.
Well, so I think we had the exact same discussion earlier this week, right? That's the part. That's the vision or the mission of the business in some ways. And I think your membership site is a great step in that direction. It just needs to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Because if the unemployment rate is 3.6% and tech is 1.5%, people have the money. They just need to pay the money for this freaking damn thing.
There needs to be, and this brings it back to what we were just saying. There needs to be a compelling result that we can deliver, that people are willing to pay, you know, more money for. And that's been the struggle. It really has been the struggle. And the thing was, so soft skills is squishy and hard to make. It's hard to give, it's hard to really sell results. It's like, you know, if you do this, then 5 years from now, your life is going to be awesome. Trust me.
No, but it can have.
So John embodied the results. That's been the challenge with John stepping away, I think, is that John was the visible evidence that this stuff
Mhm.
works,
Mhm.
right? And like, like no one's going to buy a fitness program from a guy that looks like me,
Mhm.
and they shouldn't. Really, you know what I mean? And that's
But when it
where,
comes to social skills and stuff like that, they could not tell the difference between you or John. Now,
right.
the bigger question is, of course, do you want to step into the personality business? That's a different question.
At this point, I will do what it takes to grow the business.
Yeah, maybe not.
We've had that discussion. We've had that discussion.
Yeah, maybe it's easier to just keep pushing through this process.
But if we had a social skills expert, I would be fine for now, for quite a while, being the voice, and like, I think the way that Jason and I have worked on this has worked really well. And if the problem has been, I intentionally overcomplicated it, shall we say, to see if that was something that people would value, and it didn't. It didn't pan out in this case. But if we had somebody who could create smaller products, and I could just be the voice, and it's been working. It's what we've been doing has been working, if we can find the right topics, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there is one aspect to this, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously we have to get revenue up, but it's also this treadmill of like producing all these little courses, and I mean, it does contribute to the membership side, so I think that makes sense. But ultimately, like, what I would see as making sense is having one core product, which like, if we did the Complete Software Developer Career Guide video course, that's the main thing that we like. The gateway in there are all like the books and the advertisement. That's all bringing people into this. Maybe it's a 3-month program, and then it drops into the membership. And that's it. And everything is focused and pushing towards that. And this is an expensive product, so we make money on that, and then we put them into the membership afterwards. And it's the way that most people get into the membership, is from completing this course, right? I think that ultimately is going to be better, because then you're not constantly on this treadmill of producing new content over and over again, promoting that new content, writing emails for that new content. Instead, it's just optimizing, like getting this thing out, making that the flagship, optimizing all the funnels into it, and then the upsells and everything after it, and keeping the community going.
Yeah. Simple is best.
I don't know anyone who's actually made that work.
Well, no, people are going down the path of creating just membership site with one unique offering, and that's it.
Yes, I agree with
John Lee
that.
Dumas is an example of that, right? $100 a month, Podcaster's Paradise. This is Software Developers Paradise. Boom. Software Developers Paradise is where you get all the content on software development, and you have a community where people help each other out. But I'm not convinced on the 3-month model. I think it's a lifelong model is what you should aspire for, where they just pay $99 a month and you get everything. Now you just stay in for forever.
But you want to have like a course that they actually start with that's more expensive, that they gets them in, and then the community is the follow on after that, right? It's like these are for the
best way to
graduates.
sell continuity is with and this is what I was trying to do with this course, but to have like some kind of
content,
big thing, like a big a bigger course that they're signing up for initially, and then the continuity is on the back end, because it's like, to just sell a membership solely on a membership is very difficult.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Without content, it's almost impossible to do. Very few people can pull that off.
Well, and if you've got the shared experience,
you're specifically marketing the content.
Yep.
Not the membership.
Yeah. And it's a shared experience afterwards. Like if you look at like one of the most successful forums that I know of is the Millionaire Fastlane one, right? And so even though he's not selling a course and then dropping them into a membership, what's happening is they're having the shared experience of having read the Millionaire Fastlane book. So then the terminology they use in the forums, right? It's part of this community, right? They're talking about these aspects of the book, right? So the same thing would apply to this course if we do, which is also the book, but if we do the Complete Software Developer Career Guide course, right? It's a 3-month course, and we've got some, things you go through and whatnot, and we've got the terminology from the book. Then you drop into the membership community, and you're using that terminology. You're talking about implementing things that were in the book, that were in the course. You're discussing how to do this, right? That's what keeps it so that there's value there, because everyone has gone through that shared experience, and they have something to work on and talk about that's related. So
could you rebrand the community today to Complete Software Developers Community or whatever it is, and start selling a higher ticket entry to that, and also saying, hey, okay, Complete Software Developers Community, every week we discuss one aspect of it, blah blah. Oh, I don't know which way they do it in other courses, but you could rebrand it today to Complete Software Developers Community. You don't have to wait for the course.
Yeah.
Because then it's the same as the Millionaire Fastlane effect, right? They're all coming through because they read the book. They are in the same path together. They understand.
Oh, I see.
And they understand why they are here, what they're here for. Like, you already indoctrinated them through the process.
Manny might be onto something interesting. If we rebranded the membership site as the Complete Software Developers,
community
or career guide community or career community or whatever it is, and then we took the book leads and we changed it so that essentially, instead of being about downloading that career kit, or even you could still have that offer, but the pitch was now join the membership or join the community for other people who have read the book. That could be a constant stream of people coming in that as they read the book, they get pitched,
Whatever the big promise of the book is the same big promise of the community. Josh is awfully quiet.
Whoever speaks first loses. Yeah, I mean, so that is one good way to build a community is to basically make it support for some other product.
Yeah.
Which is what we would be doing in this case. It's just, I guess, yeah. The numbers on the community, it's just the I think, Manny, that's kind of a slightly different take on what we were talking about earlier, which was the having specific topical things that we're gonna, promote. It would be tying it to the book, but the book is focused on the career. The book is more focused on career topics, which may be not the. It's so weird. Like that book has really outsold soft skills.
Yeah.
And yet, I'm not able to get as much traction with the specific career related topics.
How many copies have you sold of the book now?
I don't even, we'd have to, it's really hard to calculate because we'd have to go back through like all the Create Space reports.
Broad numbers, rough numbers.
What, John? Like, so we did like at least 10 to 20,000 when we launched it. And then it's probably been at least 1,000 a month for the last 15 months.
Yeah. So maybe close to 50,000.
Easily.
50,000. Yeah. Plus the audio version.
Plus the audio version, plus people have also, we have it available for free on the Kindle Unlimited, and we get a lot of reads on that. So, it probably would be over 100,000 people have been exposed to it easily.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the reason why it outsells soft skills more than anything else is pricing. But
Yeah, and also the Kindle
yeah,
version being available.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of part of it because you can sell that for $4.99. So
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, John, about the treadmill effect, but also like I think at this point we just need to be doing a lot of different things
yeah, to kind
until
of
we find something that really, like, if we might hit a home run and find something that really works. But until that point, like I just would like to see the business grow a little bit, see the revenue grow, and you can't really automate something until you know that it works. So
yeah.
But to John's point of having one single offer, like that's something actually I'm trying to, like every day I spend time trying to figure out how I can now integrate all into one simple straight
Yeah.
offer rather than so many offers, which is confusing the fuck out of my mind, right? Like simplifying
agree.
everything to one integrated offer. I think it takes a lot of energy away from the madness of shit that you have to do, and you just focus everything you have on that one offer. It's like the one thing kind of deal at this point. So many
Right.
offers fracture all the attention space and all that stuff. While
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm proposing is a one offer at a time,
which can be very exhausting. I have
Yeah.
gone through that process over the last few months, and it is probably, you've gone through that process too, and I think you got a couple of strands of gray hair as a result of it.
Right. But
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have, at this point, I don't have anything. There's nothing that people have latched on to the point where I go, oh yeah, this is.
Here's the amazing thing. One of the biggest names in internet marketing. I don't know who you think is one of the biggest, or who are the biggest names in like personality space who are selling info products. What do you think?
I'm gonna guess. I mean, probably like getting a call here. In online marketing, I'm gonna say, I mean, Ryan Levesque is definitely one of them.
Okay.
I would say probably what's his name? The guy from YouTube.
Ty.
Ty, yeah.
Ty's big.
Ty Lopez. I don't know. I've actually disengaged from that.
Okay.
World,
I think I'm sure Ty is big and Ryan Levesque is big. The girl who's been crushing it for a while now, for 4 years, she was on Inc. 500 for a while. Marie Forleo, right?
Okay, yeah, I know who she is.
One fucking offer in March, and 4 years ago she was making $10 million from that offer. Now things are probably much different. It's just one fucking thing, one fucking offer that just crushes it, and it's like, it's amazing.
Facebook? Is she doing Facebook? Does she do Facebook marketing still? I think that's what she was.
She just does YouTube.
YouTube?
Does videos on YouTube.
No, I mean, does she teach Facebook marketing? I thought that's what she was teaching.
No, she just teaches how to build a business, online business.
Yeah.
But she's like, of all the things, she has the simplest of all businesses that I've seen so far in the info space.
Right. Well, I mean, that's basically what Brian Harris has done also at Video Fruit.
I don't know, man. I see so many different offers coming from Brian all the time.
He's always testing stuff, but
yeah,
for the longest time it was 10K subs. Like that was,
yeah.
He's been trying to build it. He's been building out different software products and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think he's pretty scattered compared to Marie. Marie Forleo is just one damn thing. There's nothing else that happens. Like, there's nothing else.
Right.
You don't even like. I'm surprised she doesn't have a freaking podcast. She's just on YouTube.
Hmm.
Just kills
That would be, I mean, that would be what I'd like to what I'd like to build.
Yeah.
Honestly, would be one central course
Alright.
that you continue to, you know, and that's why, like, that's why, you know, for this specific thing, I was thinking run it live, because what I really liked about the way that Brian Harris did his thing was he ran it multiple times, measured how students actually did with the material he was teaching, improved it, and then automated it. And if you have a flagship course, you can do that. You can't do that with like 3 or 4 or 5 different things.
You can't.
Yeah, it's the only thing. You can do it with, if you've got 1 or 2, you can do that. And that would be, I mean, that would be my ideal. I just haven't been able to find, so far I have not found what that one thing would be. And it's got to be something that, like, it's got to be something that delivers a specific result that people are willing to pay for, then that appeals to a large enough chunk of our audience to, you know, to where it hits. It should be something that 60 to 80% of people go, I've got that problem. Even if they're not like necessarily willing to pay to fix it, it should be something that they identify with.
Well, that's one of the reasons why kind of the idea I've always had for like the big course was this idea of creating a lifestyle, like a, you know, basically like a soft skills kind of like control, change your life, transform your life course, where it's like a 12-month program where it, you know, focuses on all the areas of your life, right? And, you know, becoming more mentally tough, learning marketing, right? All kind of things that you'd want. So, because then it has that wide appeal, right?
Are you guys sure on that wide appeal thing? Because literally, if you had 3% of your audience buying $1,000 course, you're doing a $2 million business right there.
Well, okay, so we have, all right, so we'll go with numbers again. So we have 84,000 people. Only 20 of them live in the US.
Well, you don't start segmenting right away like that. 3% of your audience is willing to buy the damn thing.
Yes, but that is the
Europeans
whole point
buy
is
too.
that, well, yeah, okay, okay, so 25,000 is the entire US and Europe and Australia size of our list. So we'd need to have, you know, like, so 3% of that would be 750 people.
And if you sold a $2,000 product to them, that's $1.5 million.
Yes. I just don't know what that product is.
Yeah. So I think actually I'm on the
If
other.
you have that product, I will.
I'm thinking it's better to go sharper than to go wider at again and again, because yeah.
Well, no. Okay. Here's the point. Here's the point of that exercise though. So 25,000, right? So if it's something that is only relevant to 20% of those people, now we're talking 5,000, and then if you do 3% of 5,000,
Dude, no, that's not how the math works in the chat.
no, that's exactly how it works. So because with this course we just launched, 25%. So only about 10% of the list was like in I need a job now mode. Just say, right? We're not going to sell to those other 90%. Period. End of discussion. Right? You would agree with that? So we've cut we've cut it down from 85,000 to 8,500. And then you're only going to get even if it's instead of 3%, it's 5%.
You got to look at my friend.
Number.
You got to look at my friend Asian Efficiencies model. 40,000 people, 2,500 in his membership site, paying $50 a month. I'm not sure where those numbers are, like how you balance out those numbers, but that's the truth of his numbers.
Well,
3,000 people, 2,500 people in his membership site paying $50 a month to a gross of $125,000 per month.
yeah, but it depends on how he acquired the list. Like if the
It
list
was all organic.
right, but if the list was primarily acquired through customers, right? So if someone buys the product, buys the membership site, and now they're on the list, that's a different thing than selling to a list of. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you use
But they
paid
acquired the
traffic-
list through traffic, just like SEO traffic, just like you guys, through their opt-in forms and all that stuff, just exactly like you guys.
Mhm.
He doesn't like paid traffic at all. He's had a hard time trying to convert paid traffic. It's all been free traffic, SEO traffic. So he's the guy I would think is the closest in terms of what you guys.
Well, what he's got is more like what he's got is if we had built our entire audience based off of interview help. Okay. He's got a very focused single. So that math that I just gave you doesn't apply to him. So that the part where we take out where we add that extra step of segmentation. So you go 85, only 10% of them are interested. Now we have 8,500 that times 0.3. He doesn't have that middle step.
Well, maybe that thing
He's
is
got-
software career developers, software developer careers guide, the software developers career guide is that thing which has the broad appeal for everyone, which is the all-encompassing kind of the motto of Simple Programmer in some ways.
right.
And that is what you sell as a membership community, $50 a month. And that's it, right? That itself is $100K a year, $100K a month for $50 a month. I think $100 a year is a really low price point to sell for where you guys are.
I agree. I increased it and the response tanked. So that's why it's where it is. So.
But if you're pushing one thing, then you're more likely you can command a higher price. Okay, if you're selling a course every week, if you're pushing something every week or every month, you can't really be like, this is it. This is the bomb. You need to spend $600 on this shit. It's awesome, right? Because people are like, yeah, but what about the thing you sold last month, right? So, but if you have one course and it's your flagship course, and you're like, look, this is the course. This is what we do. This is the thing that we sell. This is the thing that you need. You can't get this anywhere else. This is $1,000. It's a lot more believable and sellable. So I think that's the other aspect of it. Which and when I wrote the two books, I mean, the whole idea behind both of those books was that because you don't write books in the tech industry and make money, except that the idea was like when Manning was pitching me to try and get me to write the first book, I was like, no, I'm not writing a tech book. And they're like, no, you can write on whatever you want. And so I thought, okay, well, what could I write a book on that will appeal to 100% of software developers? And that's where the soft skills idea came in, right? And so that's why I wrote that book. And then the Complete Software Developer's Career Guide was, again, me going back to the drawing board and saying, okay, if I am writing another book, what book will appeal to all software developers? How about a book that's completely about your career from beginning to end, right? And so that, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that's what's the whole idea behind those books. And if we create a course that is going to be the flagship course, it needs to be that same kind of thing. It's like it should appeal to pretty much 100% of, if you're a software developer, this should appeal to you. So.
Yeah, although I would say that when you go up from a book price to $1,000 a year, the necessity of being able to sell tangible results gets a lot higher. And that's where I've been stuck.
Yeah, so you can sell all the different tangible results from the book in the emails as you sell that process, the $50 a month community, where you sell all the different results from the book. But
I mean, that's essentially what I've been doing.
Well, no, you are doing it, but it's fragmented, as John just pointed out. So if it was all focused on that one thing, then it might be different.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what this looks like.
I mean, we've got to get the course. That's the thing. It's like
I'm okay. So I would totally take a look at what Asian Efficiency is doing in terms of their deliverables, what they're promising and what they're delivering every month, because I'm sure they're doing more than just one course. Like every month they're offering specific things, or some sort of a webinar or something that goes along with it.
So it's, yeah, I mean, they're selling a membership, but like the way a lot of people do memberships is like, it's just, they release a course every month.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're doing, then it's just, they've simplified the pricing model, but it actually hasn't really simplified the business.
Yeah.
You still have all the, right? Like you still have all the content creation. They have premium courses. They've got.
Can you even see their course that I told you about online, the membership? Because I don't think you can see it.
The membership? I'm not seeing any membership on here.
Yeah, they don't.
So, okay, so they've got the productivity blueprint is currently closed for public enrollment. So you sign up for the wait list, which I'm sure is just an evergreen funnel. And then they probably sell you into the, so they're actually selling, this is exactly what I was thinking with this course. They're selling they're selling predefined results, right? Productivity blueprint, inbox detox, that's going to be a big one. Better sleep, rituals. So they're selling these segmented courses up front. And then I'm sure once you get into the funnel, well, this is let's see, this one here is this is a $14 product. This is exactly what I've been talking about doing.
They have a tripwire, one tripwire that allows them to sell. What Dan was saying was it was very difficult to sell membership without a tripwire. But once they have a tripwire, now they were easily able to convert people to membership.
Yeah, which is kind of what I'm talking about doing here.
Which is kind of what a digital marketer does too. They will take a fragment of their products, like the suite of products every month. There are new products. One fragment, they will sell it at a discount rate and say, by the way, you can also upgrade to a monthly membership of $39 per month and get all these 30 other things that we have created.
That's true.
Keep churning it every month.
Yeah, they've got a premium newsletter thing that you can get.
Yeah.
Is it a one-time? I'm not sure. So really, yeah, the biggest thing for me has not been, and what I've really been like spending a lot of time and thought and effort on is not so much I don't feel like the business model stuff, the marketing funnel stuff is the problem. The problem is like, what is the problem that I can solve for people in a way that they value and is believable, right? Without John. That is where I've been stuck. That is what I cannot get past. And it's got to be something like, for the business to grow, it's got to be something that's appeals to enough, is relevant for a large piece of our audience, so that it's not. So one option is, I mean, like what I'm suggesting with the monthly, kind of like doing a small product every month that's relatively low effort, is kind of throwing in the towel on that and saying there isn't something that's big enough like that, and we're going to get 5% of the list here and 5% here and 5% here.
It's a good test, and it'll grow the membership. I mean, you'll be promoting the membership directly and through that.
Right.
So I think it makes sense for now, and then that gives us time to. I feel like the answer is going to be the Complete Software Developer Career Guide course, which it gives us time to develop and build that out, and then eventually launch that.
Yeah.
While we're still growing the list and still increasing the. I think yeah. I think doing that, and then the other focus that probably makes sense is just continuing the SEO effort to try and increase traffic, getting more articles published that are, that we SEO the hell out of.
Yeah.
Like that Java one. I don't know if that one's, but stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I could nail the problem, then there's any number, like, it doesn't really matter how you structure it. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a video course, it could be a membership. Like, if I can get my hands around the problem that I can help most people with, then, that's the rest of it is, it's one of those where you tweak the levers and you get a 10 or 20% increase. And like, yeah, going to recurring revenue would probably be better. But you still have to, you've got to have the core problem, right?
Yeah. Or we should probably wrap up here. Do thoughts?
Yeah.
This has been a long train of thoughts.
Yeah.
Shit. A lot of thoughts.
I should have done a $29 version of this course instead of a $200 version of this course. I should have done more
upsells.
Yeah, I should have done more. Testing. I guess my thought is, I did a little bit of testing around this. I should have done more incremental steps before I committed to this huge delivery.
What kind of testing did you do?
I basically wrote up the way I tested it was I wrote up I wrote up 5 bullet points about the content that I thought we would cover. I told people we're going to sell this for probably $200. If you buy it, I sent it to just like 10% of the list. I said, if you buy it right now, you can get an early bird price of $49. And I had basically based on that, if I had sent that email to the entire list, we probably would have made $7,000. That one email.
Oh, so it already made the money initially, the $49 price?
It made some money, and I was able to project out what I thought it would make based on that.
Nice, that's a good test.
But I should have actually just done a smaller product and launched it versus doing. It was an experiment, but I am regretting it.
It's part of the process.
So yeah, so like I would say, I guess my thought would be test before you test, before you test, before you test, and grow it incrementally. Don't do don't go from 0 to 60 all at once.
My thought is something I learned at Digital in the War Room meeting last one. We did in Austin. Simple wins, complicated does not scale. So I'm really trying very hard in my business right now to simplify everything to that core one thing rather than complicating the fuck out of myself. Even I don't know how many funnels I have going on now because of the complication of all that, like where everything is feeding. So simplicity is the new thing.
Let me see. I guess mine is kind of, I mean, it might be similar to what I don't remember exactly what I said on Monday, but I got a couple of emails actually from people like, well, one of them that I did a video on, some of the guys asking, it's like, oh, what if I do this project for 3 months and then it fails? What about all that lost time and all this? And I was thinking about it and I was like, it's the wrong way to look at things. Like there's no such thing as failure. There's only like learning. There's only growing and developing. And it's all about like what you become in that process. And I think it's really easy to get to to think that we have to like succeed in whatever it is, and not realize that that's not why we're doing things. We're doing things because of the growth that we get from them and the learning. And if we think of things as like, if we're, again, it comes down to that whole like avoiding failure. Avoiding failure is a curse. It's the worst thing. Like it's better to just fucking fail and get it out of there and then move on and then fail again, right? And not even viewed as failure. It's just like, it's just, you know, I was talking about how, like, you know, a plane that's going from you know, from California to New York, it is going to be off course more time than it's on course, right? It's going to have all these little course corrections, and you don't think, oh, it failed, it's failing, right? You just it's just a course correction, and it's only because you're looking at it in the right zoomed out view, the perspective of it, of getting to that destination. But if you look at it zoomed in enough, you know, 90% of the time, if you check on the actual like direction of the plane, it's going the wrong direction. Like probably 95% of the time, if you zoom in enough to the second level, right? But it doesn't matter because it's constantly course correcting. So we don't view those little things as failures, but when we're zoomed in, we view like everything is a failure, and we're worried we're going to waste time, or we're wasting all this resources. But it's really just like, it's the course correction that's necessary to get to the destination. So I try to view things like that, and it's like, I don't know, like I feel like there's too many. And the same thing, like, you know, some of my coaching clients too, it's just they're so worried. They have this analysis paralysis. They don't want to take movements. They don't want to do the wrong thing. And, you know, avoiding doing the wrong thing is probably the worst. Like, if I guess I could give people, like, you know, give one piece of advice in life that would benefit someone, is I would say, really, like, stop worrying about doing the fucking wrong thing. Just do it, right? You know, because you'll move forward and you'll learn and you'll course correct and adjust. But otherwise, you just stall out on the runway.
Yeah, there's a very interesting quote by Sam Walton. He said, "Oh, we built systems against allowing for just thinking on whether we'll do it or not. We just decide and we go forward." Well, the thinking part can really fuck you up because it can waste a lot of time and energy.
Yeah. All right,
guys. See you next week.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
See you guys.